So once again, we are welcoming everyone to this wonderful section. We had a very great section in the morning. Professor Ikekwe was around, and we had Professor Jagdish from India, and then we had Dr. Emery, who came in the last speakership in the morning. So this afternoon we are moving so right on. And before we move on, I just needed to do something for me. Can you please, or can I get 2-3 persons who can share with us a recap of the first 3 sections? The first section was Repositioning Africa for Sustainable Growth and Development by Professor Ikekwe. Can we have someone to give us a recap on that? Just a very quick recap. And then someone will give us a recap on Personal Discovery and Creating a Life Plan by Professor Jagdish. And the last person will give us a recap on the power of vision and focus. So please, can we have at least 3 persons give us a very fast recap, just in 1 minute? Just raise your hand and the moderator will unmute you. Remember, we are fixing the mind to fix Africa, so it's a collective effort. Everyone is making their contribution. So can we have 3 persons, please? What did you take home in the first session, in the second session, and in the third section? Can we have someone share with us just what you got in the first session, just 1 person, and then second person, the second section, and third person, the third section? Hope I'm loud and clear.
Okay. Yes, you're loud.
Okay, so I have Ezekiel Williams. Can we please unmute him?
All right, Ezekiel, you can unmute now and go ahead with your contribution.
Hello, Ezekiel.
Yeah, can you guys hear me? Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon. And once again, I want to thank the management and everyone, facilitator, who has put this together for this wonderful time. So I will talk about the last session, which I joined, and I learned something new. One of the things I will reiterate about the facilitator talked about the reshaping of the mind, the mindset of the people, how we go about, or how we think, and also the way we can fix things to be done, not by family kind of a orientation or like a one-man show, but like thinking about a long-term plan. Our mind need to be engineering with the modern day trend of doing things. Structure. That's the 2 words I will put: structure and the re-engineering of the mind. So thank you. I think that's what I pick up.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ezekiel. Thank you. Okay, can we have the second person, please? Chukuma Frank.
Mr. Chukuma, you can unmute now and go ahead with your contribution. Mr. Chukuma, you can unmute your mic.
Okay, Frank Chukuma, thanks to be having a slight network challenge. Okay, you can also put whatever lessons you've learned, you can put them in the chat room so we can all read and learn together. What every one of us, let's put whatever, if you were here in the first session, please kindly help us put what you learned in the first session in the chat room. Let's all learn together. Okay, we'll have Anu Ojo.
Okay. Anu Oluwakbo, you have the floor now. You can unmute and go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you for putting up this program. God bless you. What I learned was on the power of personal discovery and life planning. And I actually learned that everybody has a purpose in life, and we have a unique gift and a special talent to give to the world. And also I learned the life framework is a self-empowerment. And then it actually talked about self-awareness, self-esteem, self-concept, and ideal and image, which actually tells us of who we are, what we wish to be, and how we wish to be remembered in the future, and what we have to do for our country, for our community, and how we can do it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Anu Oluwakwo. Thank you so much for that wonderful recap. Okay, we still need one more person. Chukuma said his network went off. I don't know whether he's back now. Okay, so we need one more person, please. Okay, so I have Adeyemi. Wow, my wonderful friend. Adeyemi Caleb, can we please unmute Honorable Adeyemi Caleb?
Adeyemi, you can go ahead, please.
Yes, thank you very much for the privilege. I will just summarize in principle what I deduced from the last speaker before we went on break. His whole idea was about disciplining oneself and forgetting we should not ruminate over the idea that I'm waiting for the country to fix itself if I become part of it. I got the drift from him. What he meant was everyone needs to be disciplined. He mentioned practical ways. He even gave us practical ways in which he disciplined himself, whether you like it or not, whether you like him or not for not disciplining himself. He could tell you he is the best person he has ever seen. He has become his best version, even though he's still thinking about how to make more progress. He said he has not even 10%, is just what he has made of, not even up 10% of what he really, really wants to achieve in life. So from what he has said, discipline oneself, don't look at what the country is about now. You can actually do something while the country is going the way it is, do something that makes you different. And perhaps you can even help others to see the need to make progress while you're not thinking about the government. So many people sit down and wait for what the government can offer them. Meanwhile, what they can offer themselves is just by the corner, and they only need to go for it. So majorly, discipline yourself, discipline the mind also. When you are able to discipline the mind and tell yourself, I have vision, not dreams alone, then you can go beyond what in fact, people will see you and be surprised. At a point, you may not even need the government to be a better version of yourself.
All right, thank you so much, my good friend Adeyemi, for that contribution. Okay, so this is one of the importance of conference. At least it's been years that I saw this young man, so I'm seeing him again now. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone, for coming by on this series. And we are going to be discussing on thriving in hard times. Thriving in hard times. Thriving in hard times. There had been this misconception that Africa is the home of poverty. Like someone rightly pointed out in the morning. So how can we get the opportunity to travel out? For how long are we going to wait for this innovation that we don't know when it's coming? Okay. So I want to get us to understand something this morning. It takes a hard life to recognize hard times. It takes a hard life to recognize hard times. If you've never experienced a hard life before, you might never know what it means to have a hard time. Okay, if you've never experienced a hard life before, you might never know what it means to have a hard time. And importantly, I want us to, in the IPM community, all we do is share and learn. Okay, so it's not as though I'm going to sit down here and just be throwing everything and then we'll just be writing or whatever, We are going to discuss. So quickly, for the sake of time, I will go through my slides. I trust we can all see my slides. So if you can see my slide, kindly type 22 in the chat room. If you can see my slide, please kindly type 22 in the chat room. If you can see my slide, please kindly type 22 in the chat room. All right. So thriving in hard times. How do we survive? How do we live beyond the hard times? If you touch any Nigerian at this moment, they will tell you that this is the most difficult time in Nigerian history. Okay. Maybe if you touch someone in Ghana, he will tell you that this is the most difficult time in the Ghanaian history. And then when you touch someone in US, they will tell you so. So hard time is a global phenomenon. It's not as though it's resident in any country. It's a global phenomenon. All right. When we have recession, global recession, it affects everyone. So hard times exist. Hard times are real. Okay, hard times are real. But we can grow capacity to live beyond hard times. We can grow capacity to live beyond hard times. And that's one of the things we want to achieve in this session. How do we get to live above hard times? How do we get to have the best of life, even when things don't seem to be working right? Those are the things we are going to be looking at. And we just have to achieve that today, because if we don't achieve that today, this session wouldn't have achieved any other thing then. So most importantly and primarily, how do we live above our time? If you need to write that down, write it down, so that by the end of this session, you could actually evaluate whether you actually achieved that or not. How do we live above hard times? Is it possible to live above hard times? How do we live above hard times? Okay, so those are the two critical questions we would have answered by the end of this section. Robert Schuller wrote a book, and he said, tough times never last, but tough people do. I don't know how many of us have ever come across that book. Tough times never last, but tough people do. If you've never come across that book, I will encourage you to try and get a copy and read through it. It's just about 120, 130 pages, but it can get you off from a downside to an upside part of life. Tough times never last, but tough people do. We'll get a copy of this in the Google Classroom so that everyone could have access to it. And that statement is just as beautiful as it is. Now, we have the recognition of tough times, but some of us have not taken time to build the ability to become the tough people that will last beyond tough times. To be able to go beyond tough time, then you must have the capacity to live beyond tough time. All right? And that is very, very important. Now, in this session, by the end of this section, all of us will be able to explain the importance of positive thinking in managing hard times. And then we'll discuss the power of creative thinking in managing hard times. And then we will create simple strategies for managing hard times. Okay, I think that's simple enough for us to do. We'll look at the importance of positive thinking, because the theme of this conference is Fix the Mind, Fix Africa. So for us to be able to fix Africa, we must have some sort of positive mindset and some kind of creative mindset. All right, so those are the two things. Then we'll look at simple strategies, simple tips we can use to live above hard times. All right, those are the things we'll look at. Now, by introduction, it's important for us to establish the fact that hard times are real. All those recessions are real. If you talk about global events, Afghanistan had been on serious unrest for weeks. If you are in Ghana, you would have heard of the protests going on in Ghana. And the truth is, all of these things affect the economy of the nation. Now, you look at Nigeria, the past few weeks we've been experiencing serial killings in the Jos region, and not just in the Jos region, the Northeast and every other part of the country have skeletal killings in other parts of the country. Then you talk about Mali, you talk about Egypt. There is no country that doesn't have an iota of hard times. Economic, political, religious. Hard times are real. And then you now bring it to your own personal self. Families face hard times. They don't need to put it on newspaper to announce that they are facing hard times. But the truth is, Families face hard times. Individuals do. There comes a time in your life that you might not have money to buy sugar, to mix your gari, to drink. There may even come to a time that you may not have money to buy pure water. Though you might have the gari, you might not have pure water. Hard times are real. Some of us actually went through thick and thin to go through school. And some of us are still going through thick and thin to get to through the essence of life. So hard times are real. Then experiencing hardship and adversity, that's the typical characteristics of what we call hard time. When someone is experiencing hardship and experiencing adversity, those are typical characteristics of hard times. Someone said there is a difference between pain and penury. So the higher dimension of pain is called penury. Irrespective of who and what we are, we all experience hard times. We all experience hard times. No matter how much you have today as a person, you want to get more. In fact, the truth is, the more you have, the more you want to have. For the fact that we are always in want and in need, it exposes us to challenges which could bring us to hard times if we don't have capacity to manage those challenges. So to survive hard times, we must have the right mental capacity to survive hard times, to live above hard times. We must have the right mental capacity. And thank God for this conference today. So there are two things we want to achieve: building entrepreneurship capacity and then building leadership capacity. If these two capacities are built, then obviously the economy of Africa will get better. Now, I shared a video link in the Google Classroom, and I think I will just give some few minutes. Let's discuss on that video. The video is about 1 hour plus, so we might not have to play it here. But if you've ever watched that video or you watched the video as we posted it, then let's share that. The men that built America. If you've ever watched that video, can you please raise your hand? Just raise your hand a little. If you've ever watched that video, the men that built America, please, can you raise your hand a little? Okay. If you've ever watched that video, we'll have 2-3 contributions and then we'll move on. If you've ever watched the video of the men that built America, whether you watched part series 1 or 2 or 3, anyone you watched. Okay, so we have Chidozie, we have Anton, we have Jeremiah. These 3 people have watched the men that built America. So in 30 seconds, we are going to be unmuting each and every one of us. Please don't bring down your hands because this is a discussion session. America had a hard time. And the men that built America was a complete documentary of what America faced and how they were able to come out. All right. So those of us that have watched that series on the men that built America, so we are going to unmute you in 1 minute to share with us what was your observation about the situation in America before the emergence of the men that built America, and what were the characteristics of the men that built America. Did you get that question? What did you see as the situation that America faced, and what was the characteristics of the men that built America? 2 simple questions that can be handled in 1 minute, right? Okay, so let's have Chidozie Prince. Okay, Ricky, please, Mr. Chidike, can you please unmute Chidozie?
All right, Chidozie, you can go ahead.
So, good afternoon. It's very nice being on this one. Although I couldn't finish up the series, but I grabbed some things from the part I was able to watch. The man that motivated me most is Benjamin von Revot. I can't just pronounce his name very well, kind of. The man really motivated me. He never gave up, no matter how. The first 2 parts I met, as in I saw about him, he never, as in he always looked for a possible way to rise when he falls. As in, like, he never, as in, whenever there's a downfall, he gives opportunity. So I really, as in, gained so much from what that man did. And his strength, not to look at what is troubling him at the point to get him down. He always find opportunity. Despite that, even when he was Before then,
Sorry, Mr. Chidi, because of your location, the noise gets to be too much, but thank God you learned something. Okay, so can we unmute Mr. Jeremiah Peter?
All right, Jeremiah, you have the floor now. Go ahead.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, good day, sir. Welcome.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm gaining a lot from the sections. Yeah, the men that built America. Before then, you could see that America was in a stone age. There were so many challenges, and we could see that these men, they were entrepreneurs, they were problem solvers, like the discovery of electricity, AC current and DC current, steels. So those things really moved America to the next level. So they were problem solvers. They were always coming together. They were always partnering. They were always thinking what next to do for the people. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You've pointed some key things I like. Number one, you mentioned that America was in the Stone Age. Maybe probably their situation was worse than Africa right now. But you said those people that built America, they were problem solvers. So they had problem solving skills. And then you mentioned that they were always partnering. So they didn't do it alone. They had collaborations. Now, you also mentioned that they were always thinking. So they put their creativity to work. Thank you so much, Mr. Jeremiah. Okay, let's have the next person, Rashid Bishi.
All right, Rashid, you can unmute and go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, good day and welcome.
Thank you for the invitation. My name is Rashid Bishi. Thanks to Zachary for sending me this invitation. The man that built America was very interesting. And I think one of the things I learned was how it was easy for these people to actually see problems as opportunity. Like for instance, when they had the problem of electricity and Watson house was and Tesla, kind of how the DC and AC issue, and how JP Morgan came in and he was able to support. I remember telling like Watson house, the man that was against the AC, like AC was kind of kind of dangerous, and the fact that Tesla didn't give up and he went ahead, and eventually JP Morgan, when he saw that this is an opportunity, and this other guy that was supposed to be training under Watson has a better solution, it was easy for him to like support him, give him the resources needed, and tell him like, hey, if you can lighten up my house, and I think it was an hotel or something, and after that, he gave him everything he needed because he saw the opportunity, not just financial, or how they're going to revolutionize in the industry. And also, I remember Carnegie, which is the steel, the iron and steel kind of pioneer in Pennsylvania, and how he went through the age of, I believe he has strike from labor, and how he was able to go through all that. And he was just phenomenal. Like, these people are philanthropists in the times, our times, like when he was having problem, like almost all his labor was about to leave his plants because they're trying to strike for higher pay and all stuff, and how he was able to resolve it. Like, to me, one of the things I learned most was every problem was an opportunity, and by the time they come out of it, they were just better than where they were before. Thank
you so much. We are picking the points one after the other. Now, he said, thank you so much for that contribution. You really showed that you took time to watch the documentary. Now, one of the most impressive things that Mr. Bishi said, he said, they always see problems as opportunities, all right? And then he said, they were supportive, all right? And then he made mention of another thing, they never give up. They never give up. They never give up. All right, thank you so much. Okay, so I don't think we are going to have any other raised hand. So let's take Deborah. Then after Deborah, we'll take Ezekiel. After Ezekiel, we take Ishmael, and that will be all. So just in 30 seconds, tell us your experience from the movie. Chioma, Deborah, Agoha.
Okay. Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Greetings from UNN.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay. The movie was so much interesting. First of all, I'd like to say that I want to talk about the part of Van Bell that I watched. I like the fact that he took the risk selling all his cargo ships to invest in a new idea he saw that was the future. That was a very thrilling part for me because he had an idea that this is the future. He took a great risk. And as we youths that are coming up, I was encouraged, like there are things that and ideas that we have that is actually the future, but we are looking for things like capitals to invest in it. And this is an encouragement and strength giving video. It made me know that no matter what it takes, as far as you have a vision of the future, you should give all it takes to achieve it. That's number one. Number two is the way, even at 70, he still stood his ground. He still joined the competition. And then this shows that it doesn't matter your age or the size or whatever. You always have to strive hard to be on top as an individual. And as a Nigerian, as an Africa, I learned that. And I pray I put that in action. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. I love that. They were risk takers. They were huge risk takers. You know, some of us are looking for who to invest in our ideas. Meanwhile, you've not even invested one dime in your idea. You would rather eat with your last card than invest it in capacity development for the same idea you think people should invest in. We'll talk about this as we proceed. Okay, let's have Ezekiel Williams, please.
Yeah, Ezekiel, go ahead. Can I mute?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Greetings all the way from Port Harcourt. I believe you guys can hear me, right?
You're welcome.
Yes.
Yeah, I learned something watching the documentary. I will just go with the bullet point. These people, like you said, the way they think is different from the present day generation. These people, they are risk takers. These people are nobody to support them at that level, but they believe in themselves. But in this age and time, we see that people doesn't really believe in themselves, their words. Like you were saying at a point, that they want people to invest in them, and they have not invested in themselves. So I think what I saw about most of the people that took all of this action, one, they are risk taker. Two, they put their life at the spotlight. And thirdly, and they try to see to it that if everybody go against them, they believe that they can succeed. So with these three magnetic force in place, not even the world can comprehend them. And they become the story of today we are sharing. So I believe God will give us the grace, regardless of what is happening before us in our time. We need to build up capacity. It is the mind, because there's a lot of things that is crumpling the youth of these days, not to venture into the things they dream about and the things that comes to mind. They thought maybe it's like an awkward idea, but that's not true. If only we nest into it and just build around it. So thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ezekiel. You've just added one important point, which they believed in themselves, irrespective of who was with them, by them, against them, over them, it doesn't matter. But they believed in themselves. All right, let's take the last person, Mr. Ishmael.
Yeah, good day, sir, and welcome to the second session.
Thank you.
Yeah. When I listened to the video, I realized that they are the people who, no matter how or no matter what they face, they want to break through. They want to see at the end point of what they are doing. So they are ready for everything. They are ready for anything. They also understand themselves that this is the level you want to get to. So their design thinking was that let's get there. What the people are looking for, or what we want to achieve. Let us break the ice. Let us get there. Let us see that, or let us create that what we want to do will be beneficiary at the end of the day. Even though if we are not alive at the end of the progress, we actually have done something for somebody to come and build upon. Now, when you look at America have about 46 states, but how come they understand themselves? They are other each keepers. So if there's a problem in New York, the same problem can be solved by Washington or any other country, state that have the capacity to do that. Now in Africa, we have language barrier that some of us, some countries speak French, some people speak English. So there is a misunderstanding of who to do that, who to do what. And now, even in our own English-speaking countries or Anglophone countries, there is how do you call it, superiority over one thing, that now you want to use equal currency. Ghana is saying that my city is okay with me, I don't want to change. Nigeria is saying that my Naira is so much important to me that I don't want to break that law. Now, we don't understand ourselves in Africa. So how can you progress as a nation? So we have to fix our mind totally. We have to know that we are all one people in one continent. We can move forward if we understand ourselves. So I pray that this lesson or this conference will speak louder for the other people to hear and understand that we are at a level of breaking even. So if we can understand ourselves and come together and forward, we will be there. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Ishmael, all the way from the United States of Ghana. All right, so I think this is the much we can take on this contribution. Mr. Christopher and Ishmael Logan, please, we'll take your contributions. This is a discussion session, so don't expect me to be flipping slides up and down, but it's good we watched that video. If you've never watched that video, please go and watch it. If you've never watched it, please go and watch it. Now, there's something that Mr. Ishmael added. He said they were desperate to see the end. They saw the end and they were desperate to see the end. They saw the end from the beginning and they were desperate to see the end in whatsoever they were doing. That means they were visionary people. They had visions and they were unified. So thank you so much for all of your contributions. Now, if I may say, watching that video alone tells us as a continent how to thrive in hard times. If we can be creative, we think positively, we collaborate with our fellows, we partner, we support each other, we look beyond our barriers, then we can start getting to have a harmonized economy. So this is very, very important. This is very, very important. Now, for the sake of time, I'm moving straight ahead. Now, I have a very simple slide here, basis of success. This is like the summary of everything we've learned today. This is like a summary of everything we've learned today. If you really want to succeed, number one thing is that you must discover yourself first. And as a continent, we are yet to discover ourselves. However, the problem is not with the continent. The problem is with the people. All right. The problem is with the people. We have to fix ourselves so that we can fix our continent. So we have to fix the problem of self-discovery. Then the second thing is that we must have a plan. We must have a plan. Please, I would like to confirm if you could see me louder. So sorry, I had a network glitch there. Okay, so I was sharing on the basics of success. And I said the first thing is self-discovery. Who am I? What's your vision for reason? Why are you living? If we can answer the question of self-discovery, our life begins from there. Professor Jagdish in the morning established that self-discovery is foundational to success. Now, after discovering yourself, the next thing there is to plan. How do you achieve the fullness of your life? Then from planning, you go to pursuing. Now, whether you are at the stage of self-discovery or planning or pursuit, you must at all times be focused. Dr. Agua said something. He said, the things that distract you, they are very legit. They will so distract you that before you recognize that they are distraction, they've already finished distracting you. So you must learn to focus on the things that matter. Recently, I was sharing with my wife and I told her something. I said, in the journey of life, there are people that will give you very good advices that you must not listen to. The advice on its own is harmless. The advice is from someone who really cares about you, but you must not listen to those advices. This might not sound like what you want to hear, but I'm telling you the honest fact. Not all good advices are advices for you. So we must learn to find out which of the advices is the right one and which other ones are good, but not for me. All right, very, very important. So we must learn to have high level mentality of focus or high level focus in our mental stage of life. So you discover yourself, you plan your life, you pursue diligently. Those that refuse to put on the hard work will always end up with a hard life. Those that run away from hard work will always end up with a hard life. So it's either you decide to work hard or you enjoy your hard life at the end of the day. So it's important we pay attention. And you just have to focus on each one per time. When you're discovering yourself, you focus on it. When you're planning your life, you focus on it. When you're pursuing, you focus on the thing that need to be pursued. In my life, in my early stages in life, I discovered something. While I was still in the secondary school, for those of us in Nigeria, we'll go to secondary school, we go to primary, we go to secondary, then you go to university. Now, while I was in the secondary school, I kept asking myself one question: why am I living? What really am I living for? I was still as far as 12, 13 years when I was asking these questions. When I got to SS1, I was no longer feeling like going to school because I don't understand why I was going to school. And from that period till I entered the university, I was still asking the question, why am I living? What exactly? At some point, I will ask my parents, I said, why did you people give birth to me? You had 5 children and you still added me. Why did you join me as part of the people? And sometimes my mother would not have anything to say. And my father would not have anything to say. But I was really not comfortable living, just going to school, come back, eat, play with other children and all of that. I really needed to find out, why was I created? So from secondary school, I started telling my friends, I said, I'm going to be a great man, but how I'm going to be a great man, I didn't know. I remember a particular instance. I was still in primary school then. I had this instance, and they taught us social studies in school. So I got home, they taught us current affairs and all of those stuff. So I got home, I asked my father, I said, who is the president of Africa? I hope you can still hear me. Please, if you can still hear me loud and clear, can you please type 1 in the chat room? If you can still hear me loud and clear, please, can you type 1 in the chat room? Let me be sure that we're all following. Please, if you can still hear me loud and clear, can you please type 1 in the chat room? Okay, thank you. So I came back from school that day and I asked my father, I said, who is the president of Africa? My father laughed at me. He said, Africa doesn't have a president. I said, why? He said, because Africa is a continent, so you can't have a president for a continent. And I told him, I said, in that case, I'm going to be the first president of Africa. As young as I was, I didn't even know what I was saying, but that was giving me a direction to my life. Now, in my first year in the university, one day, I was very angry with myself. I went to a conference and the speaker was talking about personal discovery, purpose, and all of those stuff. I left that conference very angry. Not that the speaker was not saying the right thing, but the more he spoke, the more I felt like, I don't know why I'm leaving. So why should I even be here? So I ran to the hostel. I locked my room. And that day I said to myself, I said, is it that I get to know why I am born today or I die here? That was my whole passion. So I was just desperate. And permit me to go this way. I happen to be a spiritual person. So I was asking God, so God, why did you create me? So you have a choice to either tell me why you created me or both of us would die here. That room was as dark as anything. I closed everywhere, made sure that, in fact, I was ready to die. And I said, God, is it that you tell me why you created me or both of us will die here? And then after a while, serious discussions with myself, I slept off. And then I had a terrific encounter that changed my life. I may not have all the time to share all of it here, but there was a voice that said to me, say, can you get a paper and get a pen? Let me tell you why you're created. And then I went, bought 20 lips exercise book with pen, and I sat on my table. The first thing the voice told me said, I need you to raise me leaders and entrepreneurs that will transform the economy of Africa. That was April 28, 2008. April 28, 2008. Now, I didn't know what the whole thing was about, but I was filled with joy. At least now I know why I was created. So my purpose was very simple, just to help people in Africa to become leaders, to become entrepreneurs. And the assignment is we should get the African economy better. Since that day, my life became something I could say was much more, I had passion to live. Before I wanted to die, but after that encounter, every other day I wanted to live. And 2008 now, we are still working with that, just that one thing, raise leaders, raise entrepreneurs that will transform the economy of Africa. Every year we do that, every month we do that, every now and then we are talking to Africans. By all means, we are talking to Africans. So the question still remains, what is your purpose? What is your vision? Who are you? Why are you living? Until you answer that question, your life will remain up and down. Until you discover yourself, you keep living an up and down kind of lifestyle. The day you discover yourself, you only be living up and up, no more up and down. And there is no, you know, in Africa, we believe so much in witches and wizards, right? The day you discover yourself, witches will start respecting you. Every living thing, non-living thing, they will start respecting you the day you discover yourself. So if I may ask, feel free. If you're confident of your vision, can you please just raise your hand and share with us? I will only take two persons. What is your vision? Let's find out whether you have a vision or you have a dream. Remember, you must first of all discover yourself, then you plan your life, then you pursue it. With all of these things, you must be focused. Just two persons only, Wow, I'm seeing my wonderful friend, Christian Amaji. It has been a while. Good to see you here again. All right, please, can we unmute Mr. Ezekiel? Just please don't explain your vision, just tell us Your vision shouldn't be more than one sentence, okay? You just tell us what your vision is. Ezekiel Williams, please go ahead. Ezekiel, are you still there? Okay, I can't hear Ezekiel. Please, can we unmute Christian Amaji? I hope you can still hear me. Can we All right, I'm quite sorry for all of these technical issues this afternoon. I may not be able to explain what's happening, but I think it should be better off from now. Thank you. Okay, so I was going to hear from Christian Amaji, or we were going to hear from Christian Amaji. Please, has he spoken? Please, Christian Amaji, in one sentence, what's your vision? And for every other person in the room, if you are proud of your vision, please kindly share it in the chat room. Tell us what your vision for it, because that's the basis of life. Christian Amaji, are you still there?
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
All right, good day, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so my happened, it was 2 days after the death of my tomorrow. I have never heard of him before. I've never seen him even on social media. I was in a cyber cafe, it was past 7, and a friend of mine just came to do something, and he was just reading the man's profile. So I came close to him. I was like, what are you going through? He said, such a big man of God died. So when he left that night, I just found myself back to that same system where he left. I was not reading the man quote. So one got my attention. One quote of his that said, the secret of your existence is there is something your life contains your society needs. So that was the time I revived back to life. But before then, I was just confused. That was the statement that brought light to my life.
Okay, so now what is your vision?
Now, in summary of that statement is, every day I must make sure I empower someone. Every day I must make sure I empower someone.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Can we please unmute Honorable Patrick Oche, the distinguished gentleman? Okay, I'm seeing some wonderful things from the chat room. Someone says, I think Ezekiel said, raising a breed of people who will in turn build up our societies or build up cities, nations, regions, and the globe via God's word and self-discovery. Okay. Then I'm not getting anything again. The audio is off. Is that your vision? Okay. So someone has a personal vision or corporate vision, please, anyone. Just give us what you've discovered. My vision is to be a silent kingmaker. Okay, then Chioma said, my vision is to be a great philanthropist. Okay. Bracha said, my vision in life is to raise the standard of well-being and care of elderly in the society. All right. What is your mission statement? My vision is to educate young children. All right, so we have several of them. Can we have Honorable Patrick Oche? I think his hand was up. Okay, it seems he is off. All right, so like I was trying to say, vision is not a destination. Vision is not a point. Vision is just a lifestyle. You might not understand it all now, but when you get there, you understand what I mean. Vision is not a point you reach. Vision is a lifestyle you live. Whenever it comes to a point of you want to become something, then that's a dream. Dream has, well, I say, it has objects that defines when you get there as to what you want to become. But vision every day is getting different objects. So visions, dreams are embedded in visions. All right, so let me quickly say again. Anytime in your life is about just a point, you just want to become this. When you become that, nothing else, then it's not a vision, it's just a dream. Did you get what I just said now? I want to become a kingmaker. That's not a vision, that's a dream. I want to become a philanthropist. That's a dream. It's not a vision. That means when you become a philanthropist, what happens? Okay, I want to be the best doctor. That's a dream. Whatever thing you assume as your vision becomes just an object, one thing you get to, and life gets to be balanced, seems to be balanced for you. It's not a vision, just a dream. All right? Did you get that clearly so that we don't misunderstand ourselves? All right. So if your vision is to become a philanthropist, that's a dream. So you need to find a vision where philanthropy will become part of the role you need to play in that vision. Did you get what I'm saying now? If you think your vision is to become a philanthropist, please note that that's a dream. You have to find the vision where you need to play the role of philanthropy inside it. Did you get what I'm trying to say now? In case you are confused, I will answer your questions. Remember, it's a discussion. Now, importantly, listen to this. Unfulfilled dreams will frustrate you, but unrealized visions will challenge you. Unfulfilled dreams will frustrate you. Unrealized dreams or unrealized visions will challenge you. When you have dreams that you cannot fulfill or that tends to be unfulfilled, you get frustrated with life. You get angry with yourself. You just get disappointed. But for every vision that is unrealized, you don't get frustrated. You just find a better way to get there. Vision is a movement. Dream is a point. Vision is a movement. I just need us to understand these things. Dream is a point you want to get to. A vision is a movement. You keep arriving at different points. That's the difference between vision. One of the differences between visions and dreams. Dream is a point. You get to a point. Vision is movement. You get to different points and you keep moving. Do you get that? If you understood that, please, I need you to type yes in the chat room. If you understood what I just said now, I need you to type yes in the chat room. If you understood what I just said now, I need you to type yes in the chat room. All right, so thank you for understanding. Now, another important thing, I'm focusing on self-discovery because the day you discover yourself, the energy to plan automatically will enter you. And I'm not kidding. The day you discover yourself, you get to catch vision, you get to realize that this is where I'm living. The ability to plan automatically enters you. You will not pray for it, it will enter you. So I'm taking my time to focus on that self-discovery. All right? And if you've not discovered yourself, I am glad to tell you that you're one of the problems in Africa. And you just need to accept it too. Accept that you're one of the problems so that you can sit down to fix the problem. If you are living without a vision, you are a total problem, complete problem. In fact, should I tell you one thing? The more there's a saying that said, where there is no vision, the people perish. Have you ever heard of that before? So the stagnation of Africa is a product of our visionlessness. The stagnation, the high level poverty in Africa is a function of our visionlessness. Visionless as a people, visionless as a continent, visionless as countries, as states, visionless as families, as organizations, visionless. The day you catch vision, the power to pursue after it will enter you. Nobody will beg you to be motivated. The greatest motivation you can ever have is self-discovery. You discover yourself, every other thing will start flowing. Every other thing will start flowing. It is difficult to know when to come back if you're moving the wrong way. It is difficult to know when to turn back if you're moving the wrong way, if you've not discovered yourself. But if you've discovered yourself, you've discovered your purpose, if you're going the wrong way, it's easy to know and come back. So no matter the speed you're running with, the moment you discover that, oh, that's not where I'm supposed to be going, you'll come back. Are you with me? Okay, so taking the time to discover yourself, in case you've never, now let me tell you something. You can be a professor and not discover yourself. You can be a doctor and not discover yourself. You can be the wealthiest man on earth and still not discover yourself. When you have virtually all you think you need and you're still frustrated, that means there's something lacking. Self-discovery, if not giving the ultimate attention, leaves a very big vacuum in one's life. Now, I'm going to share a story, then I'll move to the next slide. Okay. Now, I read a small article of a young man who shared his experience. I think this happened in America. The young man said he had always envied this man. This man had been his role model, and he wanted to be like this man. This man had everything he ever wanted, living in the island with the best of life, had all the money you can ever think of. But he said one day, this man went to the island where he was living. He went to the island and was sinking himself in the island. And the young man, saw him and decided to go rescue him. So the more he wanted to rescue the man, the more the man was struggling to die. So he managed to bring the man out to the shores. And then he asked the man, "Why did you want to die?" And the man told him, "Young man, it is better you would have allowed me to die, because it's better to die than to live without knowing why you are living. It's better you would have allowed me to die than to live without knowing why you're living." And he said, he told the young man, or he told the man, "Do you know you've been my role model?" The man said, "Don't ever pray to be like me. Be yourself. Go and discover yourself and be yourself. Every other thing will perish, but I tell you the honest truth. A discovered life can never perish." You know one thing about vision? You die before you discover it, and you live after you've discovered it. I'll repeat that again. One thing about vision or self-discovery is that you die before you discover yourself, and then you live after you've discovered yourself. And after you're gone, long gone, you'll still be living. Everyone living today, after they are gone, what is living is just their vision, their purpose, nothing else, not their ambitions. So it is very, very important and paramount for us to understand that. Now, before I proceed, I will take 2 questions on this chart. If you have this chart in your life and it's working, you will not know what is hard time. When you discover who you are and you're seriously planning and pursuing after your life and your focus, when people are complaining of hard time, you will just be flexing your life. You just be living stress-free. At the peak of hard time, that's when you'll be having the best of life. And I'm not joking. Neither am I kidding. I'm telling you the honest truth. Now, if there's any question for me, because I want us to understand this simple chart here. I love talking in charts because it gives a clearer picture of what we have to say. Now, if you have a question for me, before I move to the next slide, just 2 questions, please. If your question is more than 30 seconds, I will mute your mic. 2 questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand. The moderator will ask you a question, or mute you, and then we'll move ahead. 2 questions only, two questions, if any. Now, if there is no question, please, can you type 00 in the chat room so that we can move ahead? If there is no question, just type 00 and then we'll move ahead. If there is no question, type 00, then we'll move ahead. If there's a question, okay, so I'm getting 100, 200, 3, 4. Okay, so let's move ahead. Now, quickly, what are the causes of hard life? Why do people have hard life? Can you have that, whatever be your answer, can you put it in the chat room? Why do people have hard life? And why is it that Africa seems to be the center for hard life? Why do we have Africa as the capital of hard life? Not hard times now, but hard life. Why do we have hard life? What are the causes of hard life? I will take, if there is any hand up, I will take 3 or 4. Then every other one will have them in the chat room. Why do we have hard life? Someone asked a question here, is it possible that you're running with a wrong vision and you're still comfortable with it? Well, it depends on what you mean by comfortable. Maybe what you mean is, okay, you're running with the wrong vision and then you still have money, you get all the things you want in life. Yes, it's possible. Ambition can give you money, give you all those things, but there will be no legacy afterwards. Okay, it will be a life of me, myself, and I. If your life is simply me, myself, and I, then you don't have a vision. All right. Okay, so I'm getting answers in the chat room. Someone said, how do I get those answers now? Okay, so many things here. Improper planning from Isaac Taki, thank you. Lack of vision by Pius Benjamin, thank you. Lack of self-discovery by Raphael John, thank you. From Glory Efiwat, lack of purpose and vision, thank you. From Christopher MC, I said it depends. Oh, okay, no, that's it. Now from Ibrahim Abubakar, I said lack of plan and vision, thank you. And my good friend Orelaja, I said poor state of mind, thank you. And then from Mishak Godwin, Honorable Mishak, he said when you refuse to learn new ideas, thank you. Then Olorun Toba says fear to follow our fear, all right? Then copycat by Honorable Patrick, they will have trustly misplaced priorities. Thank you so much. From Bomahat, he said people face hard time because they fail to leave their comfort zone. Thank you. Then from my great friend Andrew Luro, he said focusing on oneself. Thank you. From Patrick again, he said failure to innovate. All right, so the question I want to ask now is, it's not as though we don't know these things. So how come we know all these things and we are still the poverty continent of the world? What is the problem? What is really the real problem? We know all these things yet. In fact, if you ask 90% of Africans this question I just asked now, causes of hard life, they will tell you the problems, all right? So why are we still, since we have identified the problems, why are we still having hard life? Why are we still having hard life? Why are we still having hard life? Please feel free to put your comment in the chat room. All right, so I have Honorable Patrick stand up. So Honorable Patrick, you can kindly unmute and let's hear from you in a moment.
All right, good afternoon, sir.
Good day, sir.
Good afternoon to everyone in the class. I'm glad to be here again with Dr. Banito. It has been a great learning for us today. I want to say quickly, causes of hard life as have been demonstrated in the chat room. We know it, but why are we still here? No, from the two professors that spoke to us earlier in the morning, they spoke specifically about the mind. How do we transform our mind? Is the mind, and that is why I love the topic for this conference. In the morning, somebody asked questions that how do you fix a corrupt mind? The person that is thinking that another mind is corrupt, there is a problem with that same mind. So that is where we have to begin to look at. Looking at, we know we can spot faults easily, but what are the reasons for those faults? The contributors of those faults sometimes is from us, the person asking the question, and then the other person that is asking the question. So everything boils down to the mind. All right. Concerning our people, concerning our issues.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir, for that. So the answer he gave is very simple. The problem is the mind. Someone said we've refused to change our mindset. Now, when we're giving birth, in fact, from our mother's womb, we believe government should do everything for us. We believe we should just go to school, get a job. We believe people should be responsible for us, and we shouldn't be responsible for anybody. So the problem is just the mind. So you can actually be educated and still be lavishing in pain and hard life because we refuse to change the mind. Now, importantly, it therefore means that you must give yourself a challenge to change your mind. And the more you take positive mindset, the more you get better. All right. I choose to be responsible for others. I choose to be responsible for the growth of Africa. I choose to be responsible for the growth of Nigeria. I choose to be responsible for those around me. I choose to be responsible for adding value in my world. I choose to be responsible. I am not in any way going to depend on anybody to make me somebody. Do you get what I'm just saying now? So we just have to change the mindset. Was it Abraham Lincoln that made a statement? He said, Americans should stop asking what the government should do for them and start asking what can they do for their country. That single statement transformed America. When there was a shift from being expectant of what people should be doing for you to what you should be doing for people. So the question is simple. What are you going to be doing for others today? What do you choose to be responsible for? Whatever thing you choose to be responsible for, that could give you a glitch of where your vision, where your life purpose is. Now, if we all choose to be responsible to build Africa, I tell you the truth, Africa will become greater than US, greater than London, greater than whatever thing you may consider as the world largest today. All right? And I'm not joking. So choose to be responsible. Now, can you do something for me? Can you do something for you? Can you type in the chat room, from today, I choose to be responsible? Can you type that in the chat room? It may take us a little time, but I'm okay. I'm okay. From today, I choose to be responsible. Can you type that? Okay, so that was from JF Kennedy. Thank you so much. Mishak, thank you. Rashid, thank you. From today, I choose to be responsible. From today, I choose to be responsible. Responsible for building Africa, responsible for building myself, responsible for building my home, responsible for building my friends. We just have to choose to be responsible, every one of us. And we all have to choose to be responsible. And if there's something else you could do for me right now, if you have your paper with you, can you write it as bold as you can? You put your name, choose to be responsible. I choose to be responsible. I choose to be responsible. Then you list the things you choose to be responsible for. I choose to be responsible for my personal development. I choose to be responsible for my family development. I choose to be responsible for my friends' development. I choose to be responsible for building Africa. I choose to be responsible for building Ghana, for building Nigeria, for building Mali, for building the world. I just choose to be responsible. I must be responsible. I just have to be responsible. The day you choose to be responsible, as you've decided now, just watch your life. You just find out that your mindset will change. You're no longer going to think of what people will do for you. You're not going to think of what you're going to do for people. You're no longer going to think of who is going to give me money. You're not going to be thinking of who will I give money to. You're no longer going to think of who will I go and borrow his book. You're not going to think of how do I build a library where people can come and read. You just have to be responsible. Statements made deliberately can transform our mindset. And if you really made this statement deliberately, today is August 27th, 2021. If you made this statement deliberately and you're serious with it, by this time next year, you will find out that you would have been 100 times, 1,000 times better than you were today. By the time we are coming for 2022 conference, you would have had a better testimony. You would have had a better testimony. You would have had a better life. So I choose to be responsible. You know, I choose to be responsible for Africa, and IIPM choose to be responsible for Africa. That's why we are here. At no cost, at no fee, we are just responsible for Africa. We will do it with our life, and whatever thing it will cost us, we will task ourselves and do it. All right? Okay, thank you so much. Let's move to the next slide. All right. Please, if you're getting something here, say hi in the chat room. Hi in the chat room. If you're getting something, just say hi in the chat room. Just say hi in the chat room. If you're getting something, just say hi. All right, thank you. Now, let's quickly look at the place of positive thinking. We've said so much about positive thinking. Even if I had to stop here right now, I think we've done enough. Now, everyone with a vision knows that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, no matter how dark the tunnel is, no matter how dark it is. We just know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So no matter what Africa is facing now, with the group of giants, with the group of leaders and entrepreneurs that will be rising from this conference, oh my God, I believe that there is light at the tunnel. There is light. Africa will get better. Africa will soon become the envy of the world. I sincerely believe so. And you know why my belief is getting stronger? Because you came. Because you believe alongside with me. Because you're going to discover yourself. Because you now have a vision. Because you choose to be responsible for Africa. I just believe that the richest men in the world are yet to come by. I still believe that the greatest of all men are yet to come by. Because why? We have chosen to be responsible. So everyone with a vision, everyone who has discovered himself, no matter the roadblocks, no matter the mountains, just knows that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I need you to type something in the chat room for me. Can you type in the chat room, I know there is light at the end of the tunnel? Just type that in the chat room. Just type that in the chat room. I know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. I know there is light at the end of the tunnel. I know there is light at the end. No matter what I'm passing through, no matter what the hard life is right now, no matter the hard times around the globe, I know there is light at the end of the tunnel. No matter where Africa is, irrespective of the fact that I'm an African, I know there is light at the end of the tunnel. I just know. I just know. How many of us knows that actually there is light at the end of the tunnel? How many of us really know? You know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. I just want to be sure that I'm not talking to myself. You know that irrespective of what is happening now, you've chosen to be responsible for Africa. And no matter what, I know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Irrespective of the political system that is corrupt, irrespective of the economic system that is corrupt, I know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And you know what? We are joining forces together to fix Africa. We are joining forces together to fix Africa. All of us. We have over 16 countries represented here, and about 10 of them are African countries. So all of us must join hands together to fix Africa. We must join hands together to fix Africa. All right, so let's move on. Now, quickly, for the sake of time, I may not read all through this. The culture of finding and focusing on the good in every situation, that's positive thinking. This can bring drastic positive change to anyone's life. Positive thinking does not ignore problems or makes jest of situations. I need you to know that. Rather, it is believing that there is always a way out in any given challenge. It is believing that all things will work out for your good, no matter the situation, no matter the situation. Now, thriving in hard times, the mental benefit of positive thinking may include, but not limited to, by positive thinking, you get to be more creative. You get to enjoy greater problem-solving skills. You get to have clearer thinking, better mood, better coping skills, and then less depression. So if we have positive thinking, people, the problem of depression and people dying up and down will reduce. Okay. All right. Now, positive thinking techniques. You have to talk to yourself. Positive self-talk and positive imagination. And that's all we've been doing here for these few moments we've had. Okay, you choose to be responsible for Africa. You choose to be responsible for Nigeria. You choose to be responsible for your state. You choose to be responsible for yourself, for your family, for your friends, and all that come around you. You just choose to be responsible. And you just have to talk the best talk to yourself. Dr. Murray said he's the best version of himself. He's the number one person that he loves on it. So you just have to give yourself the best positive self-talk. And then the next one is positive imagination. For as a man, for as far as your eyes can see, that's what you will have. And as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So you must learn to think positively. Think beyond your imagination. Think beyond Africa. Think beyond the globe. And that is better off. All right. Thank you. Okay, so in a moment, we are going to share the link for attendance, and then you could take your attendance. But don't forget to join us here tomorrow. And please, I'm not in any way encouraging you that by signing your attendance that you've moved. Don't go anywhere yet. All right. How do you become and remain positive thinker? So I'm going to make this like a summary of all we've been discussing. Dream big. Let your dream be so big that you are afraid of it. It shakes you. So develop big visions and big plans. Always, by all means, focus on the big picture. Irrespective of what is happening, focus on the big picture. Then practice positive self-talk. Spend time with positive people. Open yourself up to humor, and then practice gratitude. Celebrate your small victories. Just know that you cannot just be at the top in the twinkle of an eye. So you have to set smaller milestones. For every milestone you achieve, you celebrate it and move to the next one. Now, quickly, the place of creative thinking. We are all absolutely responsible for the outcomes of our life. We are responsible. By our actions or inactions, we are absolutely responsible for the outcomes of our life. So you just have to think creatively and think your way out of whatever situation you are. Okay, think your way out of whatever situation you are. Exercising your creative thinking skills is a critical part of life, no matter the field you work on. Creative thinking is a skill which lets you consider things from a fresh perspective and different angles. It is an inventive thought process which results in surprising conclusions and new ways of doing things. Creative thinking can be aided by brainstorming or lateral thinking to generate ideas. So if you must come out of hard times, then you must learn to be an innovative thinker, a creative thinker, thinking not just out of the box, but out of the earth. Not just thinking out of the box, but thinking out of the globe. In case you've not practiced creative thinking before, you just need to start practicing it. Learn to lock yourself inside and think for yourself. Think for others. Learn to think for yourself and think for others. And you need to at least every day spend at least 1 hour for thinking. Create thinking room. Have a thinking diary. Every day, 1 hour for thinking. Sit down in a cool spot. Think. How can you get the situation better? How can you fix that? How can you fix that? Think. Have a network of people you think with. Very, very important. Now, the top creative thinking skills, as we begin to round up, the analytical skills, open-mindedness, problem-solving skills, organization skills, communication skills. For the sake of time, we might not go into deep into this, but try to analyze situations. There is always light at the tunnel. If you can always have that at the back of your mind, it's easy to analyze any situation and find a way out. Then be open-minded. Know that every situation, every challenge comes with opportunities in them. Mr. Bishi said something. He said one of the things he learned from the men who built America is that they always saw opportunities in every problem. So be open-minded and then be ready to solve problems. Importantly, organizationally, learn how to plan, strategize, organize, fix things. Don't be a jumbo mumbo kind of person. Then be an effective communicator. If you can achieve these things, you're already on your way. Now, how do you become and remain a creative thinker? Think strategically. Visit the world of the unknown. Take a travel. It doesn't cost you anything. In your 1 hour trip, visit the other world. Travel as far as your eyes can see. Then come back and start planning on it. Focus on one problem per time. Don't pick many things at a time. Then question what is existing. Question what is existing. That's part of analytics or analysis. Brainstorm on better approaches to improve on what is existing. Be a great observer. Be a great observer. Be a great observer. Then learn to be quiet and then write down your thoughts. Have a thinking diary. Have a thinking diary. Every one of us from today, have a thinking diary. Have a thinking diary. Have a thinking diary. Okay. Now, this is the final stage of our discussion this evening. Simple strategies to live above hard times. Simple strategies to live above hard. So in summary, all of what we've been doing since we started. So the first thing is, okay, can I have someone willing to read for us? Just read through the slide for us. Can I have a volunteer? Just read through the slides. Read through the slides. A volunteer. Okay, please, Mr. Chidike, can you unmute our volunteer? The first volunteer, that's Ishmael Sani.
All right, Ishmael, your mic is open now.
Okay, so Ishmael Sani, please, can you go ahead? Ishmael, are you there? All right, can we unmute the next person, please?
Okay, the next person is Ademi Caleb.
Yeah.
Caleb.
Okay, so Ademi, can you read for us?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, simple strategies to live above hard times.
Okay.
First bullet point says discover yourself.
All right.
Have a vision. Develop a strategic plan.
Okay.
Pursue your vision, build capacity.
Okay.
Network right.
Okay.
Stay positive.
All right, so this is like a summary of everything we've been saying since. Discover yourself, have a vision, develop strategic plan. In the next 20 years, where will you find yourself? I'm talking about strategic plan. In the next 50 years, now, I want to tell you something. The longer your vision, the longer your impact. The longer your vision, the longer your impact. I need you to write that down. Now, if it is possible, can you have a vision that is 5,000 years from now? Is it possible? As far as you can see, develop strategic plans on them. The next 50 years, the next 100 years, the next 1,000 years, don't stop. Develop a document, tangible document. I was 21 years when I developed my first strategic plan. Okay, and that plan was from 2000 and whatever then to 2021. That was the plan, and that plan was going to take us 104 years. Yes, 104 years. Yep, that was the plan. So develop your own plan, strategic. If you know what your life will look like in the next 100 years, you won't bother to die now. No matter what the situation is, you will still live better. All right. Then the next one, they build capacity. Someone made a statement today talking about risk takers. I've forgotten the person that made that statement, what she learned from those who built America. He said she discovered that they were ready to invest, sell off what they have and invest in their ideas. No, the problem with most of us Africans is that we are not ready to give what we are not ready to sacrifice our own self to our vision, but we want others to sacrifice. It doesn't work that way. You must learn to build capacity. And you know my assurance? My assurance is that for the fact that you decided to register for this conference you attended is a pure characteristic that you're already living above your hard times. You're already interested in building capacity. Then the next thing, the networking right. Find the right people to network with. Find the right people to network with and always stay positive. All right, then the next person is going to help us read the ABCDE strategy to live above our time. That's Tukubelo. Please, Mr. Tukubelo, can you help us read? Mr. Chidike, can you please unmute him?
Yes, Mr. Bello, your mic is open now. You can unmute yourself from your end.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, your network
Yes,
seems to be
please.
fluctuating.
And there's
Hello.
a noisy background.
And there is noise in the background. Okay, can you unmute Edegan? Sorry, Mr. Tuko, your background, there's some noise there. Sorry, please. Okay, Edegan, please, can you unmute Edegan?
Edegan, you can go ahead and unmute from your end.
Okay, can you please unmute Chioma so that we don't take all of the time? Just unmute Chioma, the next person.
Hey, Choma, go ahead.
Greetings from UNN. Simple strategies to live above hard
Okay,
times.
Chioma, please, can you raise your voice a little or raise the volume of your device? We could barely hear you.
Simple strategies to live above hard times.
All right.
The ABCDE strategy. 1, action. 2, believe. 3, confession. 4, determined. 5, enthusiastic.
Okay, so no matter what be the situation, number one way out to live above our times is as you think, take action. Take action. Don't procrastinate. Don't say, I will do it tomorrow. I will do it next tomorrow. Procrastination never gets anything done. So take action. Take action. As you're leaving this conference, there are things you will write down, you say you will do. Don't wait till thy kingdom come. Take action immediately. And then learn to believe in yourself. I can do it. I can do it. I think it's Mr. Bishi that said something. He said one of the things he learned from the men that built America is that irrespective of the opposition, irrespective of who is following or who is not following, irrespective of who is supporting or who is not supporting, they believed in themselves. And then number 3, one of the characteristics of vision is that you talk about it, you confess it. You confess it. You confess it. I know that my assignment is to build leaders and entrepreneurs that will transform Africa. Then I must talk about it. I must talk about the conferences. I must talk about the workshops. I must talk about the travels. I must talk about the things that need to be built. Dr. Aguwa said something today. He said, if he had money to buy a private jet today, he would better invest it in a business. He had a dream to buy a private jet sometimes ago, but now he had a vision which is much more bigger than the dream. So what are the things that you'll be investing in? Talk about them. By 2035, IPM will be building one of their first universities ever. And that's going to be an entrepreneurship and management university, one of the first ever, all right, in Africa and globally. All right. And we are doing all our best to get it done. We are working on it 24/7. So confess it. We are investing in different things just to make sure that we have, we want to reduce unemployment in Africa at least by 5%. At least. We did not do much. Let's reduce unemployment by 5%. Talk about it. Let people hear you. The more they hear you, the more they believe you. The next one is be determined, no matter what, be there. Keep going. And then the next thing is be enthusiastic. Don't let anything discourage you. Fill yourself with joy. Like I said, a visionary person is always joyful. No matter what is happening, you're always joyful because you know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. So be joyful. In fact, if you lack joy in your life right now, it's an indication that you lack vision. Lack of joy is a characteristic of lack of vision. Lack of joy is characteristic of lack of vision. So this ABCDE strategy is simple. Take actions, believe in yourself, confess your confession, be determined that no matter what you're going to put through, and then be joyous at all times. Be joyous. Then the next one is the 5 P's strategy. So can we have Adekoya? Wow, this name is wonderful. It's good to have you around, sir. Please, can we unmute Adekoya Oladipupo Adewale? Can we unmute him to help us read this slide?
Adekoya, you can go ahead and unmute from your end.
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir.
As a matter of fact, it's a pleasure seeing a doctor all over again. This is Adekoya from City Pros.
You're welcome, sir. We are glad to have you, sir.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, sir. Yeah. Simple strategies to live above hard times. The 5 P's. We have a propose, prepare, plan, pursue, perspective.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. And I think that's going to be our last slide. Every other thing that would now be like a worksheet. Propose. What do you want to achieve? For as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Whatever thing you ever see, you ever dream of, please write it down. Propose. Keep saying it to everyone. This is why I'm living. We are going to be building university. I'm going to be building the next estate because the cost of living in this place is too high. So we want to build low-cost estate. So we are going to be building 1,000 units. How am I going to start it? Start it now. Start by talking about it. Start by proposing it. Tell people about it. The truth is, you don't know who your destiny helper is. If you keep quiet, if you keep your mouth shut, you will never get your destiny helper. Talk about your dreams. Talk about your aspirations. Talk about the vision. Talk about how big they are. One day you will land yourself where your help will come from. Then the next thing is prepare. By all means, no one ever goes to war without preparation. If you must win, then you must prepare. build capacity. Build capacity. What are the things that are lacking in your life today? Itemize. During the session on self-discovery, we talked about self-awareness. So when you do a personal analysis, what are your strengths and weaknesses? Where do your opportunities and threats come from or lie? You have to find those things so that you know exactly where to build capacity in. You need to know where to prepare and then plan. And then by all means pursue with all energy and zest, pursue. Importantly, which is the last point, perspective. You must have the right mindset. You must have positive, creative mindset. To live above our times, you must have positive, creative mindset. And I'm going to share this as a whisper. Professor Ekekwe in the morning session exposed a very big secret that some of us are still struggling to understand. And maybe we don't even get to know how to harness these things. He said, okay, I think it was Honorable Isaiah that asked, how do you survive in a double taxation economy? And he said that Nigeria actually has one of the best economies in the world when it comes to taxation. And then he said something. He said, it's only in Nigeria that you register a company today and you have customers today. And not only that, you register a company today and you are qualified to bid for a government contract today. Now, if you can believe within yourself that that is possible, I tell you it's true. Now, I've said that severally in our project management classes, and we'll spend time talking about projects and contracts and all of that. Well, in another time, we'll talk about all those things. But one of the things I will tell you, remain connected to IPM. You don't know when the next workshop will come up, but we are always learning. In IPM, we're always learning. So have the right perspective, the right mindset, the right positive thinking, the right creative thinking, and that will be a good one for us. Now, a very simple activity as we round up. This is my last slide, owing to my conclusion. All right, so this is something simple we are going to do. So you're going to have a sheet. On the other side, you write down situations around your life now that you will address through positive thinking. And then on the other side, you write down the issues in the African continent that you hope to address through critical thinking. Remember, you choose to be responsible, all right? Now look at Africa and say, okay, I will be addressing the problem of politics. I'll be addressing the problem of education. I'll be addressing the problem of poor leadership. What exactly do you want to address? So we'll have two sheets, all right? So maybe we could have just a few comments and then we'll be done. All right. So write at least, for the sake of time, just write one thing that you in your life, one situation in your life. What is that thing that you think by changing your mindset, you'll be able to fix that thing? Write it down. And then what situation do you see in Africa that you think you can fix, you choose to be responsible for? Just one situation in your life you can fix through positive and creative thinking. And then the other one is what situation in Africa do you choose to be responsible for? Are we together? Now let's have the answers rolling, and then we'll have one or two comments, and then we are done. I hope we're still together. What one challenge or situation in your life do you think through positive thinking you'll be able to address? And then what situation in Africa do you choose to be responsible for? I choose to be responsible for education in Nigeria or in Africa. I choose to be responsible for capacity building in Africa. So what is that thing you choose to be responsible for? And what situation do you need to address so that you can fully be responsible for what you need to be responsible for? Okay. So I'm waiting for the first comment. Okay, so Mr. Tukubelo said, I choose to be responsible for health in Africa. Thank you. So Mr. Tuku, what situation around your life now do you think through positive thinking, you'll be able to address it? If you can change your mind about this thing, you'll be able to fix it. Okay, so I'm having plenty coming in. Rashid Bish said, to improve transparency and accountability in governance. So Rashid, choose two. improve transparency and accountability in government. Now, so we're already getting a glimpse of what our vision is all about. Okay, so Translate says, for Africa, I choose to be responsible for the educational development in Africa. All right. Solomon Easy Ayigi said, conflict resolution in Nigeria, green emission in Africa. Ibrahim said, I choose to be responsible for education in Nigeria. Rachel John said, boldness in facing all critical period and pick up opportunity in critical period. All right. Sylvia said, education sector, the practical aspects of learning. Andrew says, choose to be responsible for human capital development in Africa. Choma said, I choose to be responsible for the youth in the world. Who again? Esther said, for self-love, for writing article for Africa, develop entrepreneurs. All right. For Lainka to create jobs in Africa, for Bashir to create jobs in Africa. What did Bashir say? Okay, so we have plenty of things we are responsible for, and then we are changing our mindset. From today, you choose to be responsible. In your life, the remaining days of your life, never for once act irresponsible again. Did you get what I just said now? You've made a commitment to be responsible. Never for once. The day you see yourself complaining about what government is doing, you're becoming irresponsible. The day you see yourself complaining about what your father did, what your uncle did, what your auntie did, you're becoming irresponsible. You choose not to complain, but you choose to take action. You choose to have the right perspective to things. You choose to look at the opportunities that come from every situation and then get it better. Now, in conclusion, men and brethren, we all have a responsibility in fixing our Africa, but it will begin with us fixing our mindsets first, our minds first. Through positive and creative thinking, we can fix ourselves and then fix Africa. Today, I've chosen to fix myself so as to fix Africa. And I think this is a resolution everyone is making. So at this juncture, men and brethren, I want to say a very big thank you for your time, for the extensive time we've spent together. Thank you, and God bless you. Very good. Now, Mr. Chidike, please, over to you.
All right. Many thanks indeed, Banito, for that awesome and thought-provoking session. All right, we have 10 minutes to take questions and contributions, just in case you still have any contribution to make or any question, please indicate by a raise of hand and you will be unmuted. All right, I already have two people. Rashid Bishi, I'm starting from you. You can unmute from your end now and ask your question or your contribution. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for this awesome conference. My contribution is just I've been living outside of Nigeria for over 10 years, and one thing that I learned after moving out was self-accountability in a society that functions. People just have to be self-accountable for whatever. Blameless, be self-accountable for whatever happened to you. You will see a change in your life. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. So we all need to be accountable, right? Thank you. Okay, let's have the next person, please.
All right, next is Ibrahim Abubakar. Ibrahim, if you can hear me, you have the floor now. Unmute from your end.
Thank you very much, the organizers. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir. Go ahead.
Honestly, I feel I'm a very busy person, but fortunately, I must tell you that I took time to attend this online forum.
Thank you.
Just as the other man said, I've also traveled out of Nigeria, and honestly, there is a gap between our mindset and what is the reality on ground. Nigeria is not a productive economy or nation compared to other nations. So based on this, I want to crave the indulgence of this institute, this organization, IPM International, to take some of this type of conference and workshop beyond the classroom. We need to target the higher class decision makers and policy makers too. Honestly, it's a very wonderful one. However, I want to ask a very prominent question. what is the problem that up till since I was born, 1974 to date, Nigeria is still known majorly in the eyes of the world as a mono economy? Is it the issue of leadership or is the issue of entrepreneurship? Because these two must link together to make a better nation. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ibrahim, for that wonderful observation, recommendation, and question.
Yes,
really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So the question of Nigeria being seen as a mono economy, is it a leadership issue or is it an entrepreneurship issue? Now, I think it's both.
Okay.
It's both. Leadership issue in the sense that we don't have a political structure that really drives the change in the mindset, which is what will bring about the entrepreneurship.
Okay.
So it's a twofold thing. And you've made a very wonderful recommendation, which, if followed, we address this issue. You said the conference should be taken to the decision makers, right? Now, if we get them to change their own minds and they are committed to good governance, automatically you will see entrepreneurship thriving.
Yes, sir.
And then when it comes to mono economy, you find out that even till now, we are still regarded as an oil and gas economy, nothing more.
Economy.
But I'm telling you the honest fact, if you listen to Professor Ekekwe in the morning, he said, no matter how you've traveled, you possibly want to live in Lagos now than any other part of the world, because if, as an entrepreneur, it's easier to discover much more problems in Nigeria, in Africa, than any other part of the world. And that's bringing us back to the enterprising part of the economy. So with time, we are going to be making great waves. As part of the things he shared in the morning, we had companies like Flutterwave having over $1 billion on themselves. They are $1 billion companies. Then we have Kuda, $500 million. Then we have Paystack. Paystack is more than $1 billion. All of these things are digital moves, all right? And these things are bringing great things to the economy as well. So I believe as we keep building capacities together, as we keep networking, as we keep collaborating, as we keep supporting ourselves, we'll find ourselves creating economic divergence that will give more economic stability to us as a continent. Thank you so much, Mr. Ibrahim, once again.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, thank you. And finally, we have Solomon Easy. Solomon, if you can hear me, go ahead. Unmute from your end.
Yes, good evening all.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, I really wish to appreciate the team for a wonderful forum. I simply want to encourage us that as an institute, if they can begin to, I support the last person who calls for going further to a kind of right associations, corporate organizations for nomination of its employees to attend some of these conferences. Because I know where I work, they are very open to some of these kind of programs. And I believe if written to them, they will surely nominate its employees for it. So I'm encouraging that we a kind of contact corporate organizations and government institutions. I think it will really go a long way. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Solomon. It's good to have you again on this platform. I think you are one of our most regular participants. Thank you so much. And now that you've told us that you're willing to partner with us, be rest assured we are willing to partner with you. Okay, so this is a virtual conference. We'll also have our offline conferences where we have discussions and serious deliberations on matters. And come November, we are going to have one. So we will be inviting everyone. Just stay glued to your email, and then we'll make sure that we pass the information across to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, I think this should be the last question, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, please.
Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. If you've not taken your attendance, please kindly do so now. And we'll be calling it a day from here. It has been announced. For me personally, I learned from all of the sessions. and it has been awesome. By tomorrow, we will start earlier because we missed a lecture today. So we might not start by 8:45. We might have to start by 8 a.m. That's 8 a.m. Nigerian time, 7 a.m. Ghana time, and then 8:00 West African time. So you will have to join us with Dr. Larry, who will be discussing on building entrepreneurship, building creativity and entrepreneurship mindset. That is his section. Fortunately, he's handling a session today in Ghana, so he was not able to meet up with this one. He is currently in Ghana handling a session. So by tomorrow, you'll have the time vested tomorrow morning to deal with that. Okay, so please, if you've not taken your attendance, Mr. Chidike will be sharing it once again. And please also kindly give us your 5-star rating on Google for your experience today. We would like to have you invite more people to join this conference tomorrow. And please, by whatever reason, just try and be here so that you also get your certifications. We'll be doing more of the announcements tomorrow on the other conferences that will be coming by, and then you will be willing to join. Thank you so much, and God bless you really good. Over to you, Honorable Chidike.
All right, many thanks indeed, Dr. Banito, for this awesome session. And thank you everyone that participated today, and we'll see you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Nigeria time. Thank you, everyone.